Hi guys, my name's Elliott in Bethel, and this channel is about energy healing, personal development and following my journey utilising fasting as a healing modality. And today this is a quick video to just say hello to all of you guys joining me next week on the guided fast. I'm going to be doing 3 different types of fasts and guiding you all through it next week. So far there's about 25 of you. This week I'm taking about 9 of you through this process. And the 3 different types of fasts are a wet, dry and hard dry fast, which is combined. We'll be doing the first day will be wet with water, lemon juice and pink Himalayan salt. Then there will be 5 days hard dry, no food, no water and no contact with water. On the 6th day I will invite you to take a bath in pink Himalayan salt. And on the 7th day we'll be taking various minerals and fruits and maybe juices in on the 7th day. The second type of fast you could choose to go through with me is a juice fast. And this juice fast is correlating to the colours of our energy wheel or our chakras. So on the Monday you'll be drinking red juices, on the Tuesday you'll be drinking orange juices, on the Wednesday you'll be drinking yellow juices, on the Thursday you'll be drinking green juices, on the Friday you'll be drinking blue juices, and on the Saturday and Sunday indigo and violet juices. Now, for those of you who are not aware, we have 114 chakras in our body. We have 72,000 nadis. These are energy points and energy ley lines that go through the body, and this is how energy flows through us. And various colours vibrate at different levels, red being the lowest of the vibrations and violet being the highest of the vibrations. Everything is energy, vibration and frequency, including us, and we can change this energy, vibration and frequency with our thoughts, our emotions, and ultimately what we're letting into our energy field, because fasting is not just the food that you're going to be eating, it's also the sounds that you're listening to, the words that you're speaking, the thoughts that you're having, the events and environments and people you're surrounding yourself with. So I'll be taking you through lots of different things, spiritual practices, and different methods that I've used over the years to go over a third of last year without food. You can read in the description below. I'm not going to go through all the fasting I've done because there's so much that I've done, it's going to take too much of this video up, but I will put it in the comments below, so take a look at that. And fasting, I have found, is probably, out of all of the healing modalities I use and teach, the most powerful, because ultimately our bodies are 72% water. And it's been shown now that you can have parts of your brain cut out and you'll still have memory of virtually everything, because every cell in your body has cellular memory. And these cells listen to our thoughts and our speaking. So if you're constantly telling yourself, oh, I fucking hate my life, I'm really down, your cells listen and your body starts to shut down and it ages. Stress causes your chakra system and all of your energy centers to close down. Now you get energy from nature, you get energy from sunlight, you get energy from grounding. Just walking bare feet on ground for 45 minutes a day can relieve 80 to 90% inflammation within your body. I've done several videos on a book called Earthing. I can't remember the authors right now, but if you go back, I'll possibly even pop a little link up here, or the names of the book. When we have inflammation in our body, it's like an energy blockage. When you get an energy blockage, this is when your thoughts, negative thoughts, can start to manifest that illness within you. A lot of inflammation can be caused by dairy. Dairy creates a lot of mucus within the body. I gave up, as you know, I gave up eating meat about 3.5 years ago now. And one of the reasons I'm doing this video is because I wanted to talk to you through why I will be the ideal person to guide you through this process. Now, I've suffered from many things in my life. I've suffered from addiction of drugs, sex, alcohol, and lots of different things. And when I talk to you about these things that I'm about to talk to you about, I'm talking to you from a level of truth and a level of vulnerability. And the reason you found this video is because you're picking up on that. And for the last 3 years, I made a decree that I would only speak my truth, no matter who it hurt. Now, what happens is when you speak to someone who has only spoken their truth, your energy picks up on this. You would have had a conversation with someone before and you probably believe something they say, but part of you will know that it's not truth. And this is because your energy, your aura, when it picks up on that person's energy field, will know that you'll be calling bullshit on that person, basically. With what's going on the planet right now, you're all becoming more energy sensitive, because for the last month or so, you've been in isolation. What in effect this does is this makes you stand within your own energy field. I'm not going to talk to you about how big energy fields are, because the current descripted size of auras that you can look up or read in books it can be a lot bigger than what people believe. And the thoughts and emotions that you put into your energy field are ultimately what you draw back to you. You've all heard of the law of attraction. The law of attraction is basic karma. It's whatever you put out comes back to you. So if you're constantly helping people, being nice, having thoughts that are joyful, prosperous, healthy and joyful, then this is what ultimately comes back to you. Because there's a saying in the Bible that says, clean the inside of the cup first and the outside will become clean. As within, so without, as above, so below. Believe it is done, and so it will be done unto you. Now, beliefs, believe it or not, are actually like programs, and they can be changed like furniture within you. Your body is a temple. This is your temples, and this is the temple of the living God, because what you think and what you emotionalize becomes a belief within your body. Now, the beliefs are like building blocks, and you build up these building blocks over the years. And one of them is that you need food, because you're fed food from a young age, from the age of 0 to 3, your parents are feeding you 3 or 4 times a day. And their energy is around you, thinking that they need to feed you this amount of times a day. So this becomes a paradigm, a program within you. And from that point onwards, I believed that this is what I needed to do. Now, this went so far for me that I got to the point where going to the gym and being in the bodybuilding sort of thing when I was 20 to 25, taking a lot of steroids, around sort of 16 stone, 5% body fat, shoulder pressing 52 kilos in each hand for 10 reps. I was eating 2 chickens a day, a couple of steaks, pastrami. I was eating every animal on the planet. I mean, my energy was pretty dark around that time. And this was a belief system that I had, that I needed to eat 200 grams of protein a day. Some of you may have seen a film recently called The Game Changers. This is shifting a lot of people's beliefs. Last year there were 600,000 vegans in the UK. There's now 1.8 million this year. I actually stopped eating meat 3 years ago, and I became pescatarian. And I chose to become pescatarian because there's a spiritual guru called Sadhguru. A lot of you would have heard of him. And he suggests that if you're going to eat meat or a animal, eat the animal that's furthest away from you in the evolutionary line. So fish are the furthest away from us in the evolutionary line. So this causes the least amount of negative energy within the body. I was then pescatarian for about a year, and I decided my next step was to cut the fish out. And I still ate dairy and eggs for a little while. And I really did love halloumi. It was my weakness, really. Battered halloumi, halloumi chips. I was eating halloumi with everything. It was pretty ridiculous. But I decided to make the move and give up eggs and cheese. And it was funny because I felt amazing. The clear out of mucus within my body when I stopped eating dairy was amazing. I went back and had a little bit of a slip up and had a cheese binge one night. And all I can say to you is I've had some pretty fucking horrendous drug come downs and alcohol come downs. I've spent 7 days awake on recreational drugs, and the come down I had from binge eating cheese was worse for 24 hours than any come down or alcohol come down I've ever had. The amount of mucus that was shown to me coming through my body after that cheese binge was on another level. So that was cheese out the window for me. I managed to find alternative cheeses, and I was practicing fasting so much that I wrote an article 3 years ago that said by 2026 I believe the human race will only eat food for pleasure, because we will have learned how to exchange energy with trees, with the earth, with sun, with each other. Now your mobile phones, if your mobile phone's running out of battery now, you can place it next to my mobile phone and I can essentially give you some of the power from my phone. As human beings, we do this all the time. Your aura, when you're standing next to me, your aura, 2 circles together create a vesica Pisces. It's this sort of shape. You may have seen it as the Jesus sign or an upside down fish, but it's also the beginning stages of the flower of life in geometry. Now this vesica Pisces is a shared field of information. This is how we communicate telepathically, and it's also where we can exchange energy with each other, just through a hug, just through eye gazing, just through passing on a positive thought, by blessing someone with your thoughts. You can change someone's energy field by doing these things. I've been practicing this for 3 or 4 years now, and I can put you in contact with people I've worked with if you would like me to. But what I'm talking to you, I'd imagine, is making the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It's really resonating with you. And if you found this video for a reason. It's synchronicity. Coincidence does not exist. Synchronicity is cause and effect. It's vibrational match. It's when my vibration is matching your vibration, or it's the bridge of incidents or trail of breadcrumbs to lead you on to something that you are being shown to look into. And all I can say to you is, coming on this journey with me, we are just about to smash through the oldest and hardest limiting belief you've ever had instilled in your body, the belief that you need to eat. Now, I'm in talks with people that have gone well over a year without food and water. One of them in particular is actually in better shape than I am, and I'm currently around 12 stone, currently around sort of 8% body fat. I can still squat over 120 kilos, I can still bench over 110 kilos. I can show you these methods I use from breath work. I'll be going through breath work. The first thing we do when we come into this world is we take a deep breath. That connects us to everything. All of a sudden, boom, we're connected to everyone and everything on the planet through our breath. The last thing we do when we die is we take a breath out. You cannot breathe wrong. If there's a breathwork coach that's telling you you're doing it wrong, switch them off and go somewhere else. We may breathe a little bit too shallowly sometimes, but breath is what connects us all, and there are methods that I feel energise myself better. But understand, we're all different and we're all on a different road. So as a coach and a mentor, I tend to tell people, if what I say to you resonates, then by all means jump on board and work with me. If what it doesn't, then I can pass you on to several other coaches who have slightly different perspectives, and that might work for you. But we're here to follow our bliss or enjoy ourselves. Because what this does is, when you follow your bliss, or you make every decision you choose from a place of enjoyment, that enjoyment creates a vibrational raise. It makes your light brighter, and it makes you ascend to a higher vibration. When you ascend to a higher vibration, that goes into your energy field. When that goes into your energy field, events, circumstances and people are a match of what you put out into your field. They say that you become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. This is true to a certain effect, because it's vibrational match. This is why halfway through the fasting I'll be taking you through next week, around day 3 or 4, I'll be getting you to go through your Instagram and your social media and binning off anyone who's talking negatively, binning off anyone who's talking rubbishly, binning off anyone who has low vibration energy coming through their social media. Because ultimately you're looking at this subconsciously and taking this on board. I did this 3 or 4 years ago, and I took several guys into the North Yorkshire Dales and I showed them how to go 7 days without food or water, or without contact with water. And it changed my life. The things that we look at on a regular basis go into our subconscious. We operate from our subconscious 90 to 95% of the time. These are programs and paradigms that we've had instilled with us over the years that not necessarily are ones that we want to keep there. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to change up these paradigms and programs that are like the beliefs or building blocks that you have within your body. Because sometimes friends and families teach you what they think's in your best interest, but it might not be later on. You might want to change some of these beliefs or programs or paradigms. What you're taught at school, I believe schooling system is completely wrong personally. I believe they teach history, which is his story, and it puts you into a cage of a program of running around socially in a mental cage. I believe you should fuck history off, and I believe you should change it to your story and start creating your own story. Because ultimately, as far as you can expand your beliefs, you're possible of achieving and doing anything. And I've done some pretty crazy things since I've changed my belief systems. And one of the ways we change these belief systems is, as I mentioned earlier, we're 72% water. A lot of emotion is stored in water. A lot of our emotion is stored in fat cells. Our fat cells hold water like a camel holds water in its camelback, in its hump, so that when it goes into the desert, it can last days or weeks without having to drink any water. Now, the problem with our fat cells that hold water is stored energy, it's stored memory. So we can be holding on to a lot of beliefs or emotions that are not serving us anymore. Now, if you're an energy healer or you work with energy, you'll know that in order to let new energy in, you have to get rid of old energy. If sometimes when I have a big clear out of my wardrobe, all of a sudden I get loads of stuff that comes in and I can replace that with a wardrobe. If you have a mix-up or you change the furniture in your house, the energy flows differently and things start to change differently. So sometimes what we need to do is change the energy up within us, get rid of some stored emotion and make way for new emotions to come in. And what I'll be guiding you to do is to release this energy through dry fasting. So when we dry fast, we utilise the water stored in our fat cells that are there, which are technically stored emotion. And if I say to you, the reason I know this is because what do you do when you're upset and you need to release emotion? You cry. Not enough guys cry, and I owned a hair salon for 5 years and I worked in the hairdressing industry for 10 years. I know you might not believe it looking at the state of my fucking barnet, but yeah, I worked in hairdressing for 15 years. And what I noticed was that men weren't vulnerable enough. They didn't talk about their emotions. And the reason that suicide was the biggest killer in men under 55 was because of this. And I always was an open book. I always was very vulnerable and spoke about my emotions. And this has served me very, very well over the years. And looking back on it, there's a lot of things that I did unconsciously that I've now been shown that I was doing unconsciously that worked for me. And because I've been shown how I was doing it unconsciously, I'm now doing it consciously. And now I'm doing it consciously. I have so much abundance, so much love and so much prosperity and joy in my life right now. This is what you can feel coming through me right now. So from me doing it unconsciously and now learning how to do it consciously, this is how, when I talk to you, hopefully you'll find it easier to understand and break down, because there are people that are doing it consciously, there are people that are doing it unconsciously, and there are people that aren't doing it at all. And this is the way manifestation works, and I'll be going through manifestation later on in the week and visualization. Because ultimately, when you're fasting, your connection to source through your chakras, through your kundalini, is so pure because you're of a pure energy. You don't have any foreign energies within your body. Every time you put food into your body, it's like putting a CD into a computer. Your body has to process it, work it out, and then get rid of it. And if you're eating meat, and I'm going to give you this example because this is why I believe that I gave up meat, I was very stressed, very anxious, and very depressed. Now, I was looking at the meat I was eating and I was thinking, that meat is being stored in absolutely fucking horrendous conditions. I don't like the way it's being killed. I don't like the way it's being looked after. I don't like the way it's being treated. That is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. I'm energy vibrating at a certain frequency. When I'm eating that fear-based, anxious, depressed vibrational frequency is going into my energy field, and I'm having to process it, work it out, and then shit it out. Why am I doing this to myself? I gave up eating meat and boom, depression went, anxiety went, overnight. And I've been called many things in my time. I've been called schizophrenic, I've been called drug addict. I've been called all sorts of things because from the last 4 years I've been talking with energies, angels, spirit guides and all sorts. But believe it or not, everybody around me now understands what I'm talking about. I'd like to think I can break it down in a way where literally, when I first started this journey, I picked my battles and I was very, very careful about who I was talking to. Now, I actually go into places where I will try to find someone who does not believe in this, because within 5 minutes of me talking to them, they actually think that it's a different perspective, and maybe by looking at things from a different perspective, it changes things. Now, when you look at things from a different perspective, it takes you out of that old paradigm and program. And when you come out of that old paradigm program, veils come down and you start to see things differently. Now, I've talked about this many times in many of my coaching videos, but if you do something as simple as start brushing your teeth with your left hand if you're right-handed, or writing from now on with your left hand when you're right-handed, what this does is this takes you out of your normal paradigm or program. And by doing this, it balances the left and right brain hemispheres, balances the masculine and feminine energies within your body. It's a very good thing to start juggling, because this does a similar thing. It unifies you. And when this happens, it takes you out of that normal program. It takes you out of that sleep state where you're just on autopilot, and it brings you into the present moment. For those of you that watch Eckhart Tolle, being in the present moment is where we receive most of our presence. If you want to receive the things that you are trying to manifest, the best place to do that from is in the present moment, with visualization, cutting off your 5 senses, touch, taste, sound, smell and sight, going into yourself, visualizing them, creating them in the non-physical realm, then emotionalizing them by believing that you already have them and putting the excitement into it. And then that starts to draw it from the non-physical realm into the physical realm. This is what I was doing unconsciously when I was 24 and said I wanted to buy an Audi R8. Boom, by the time I was 25 I did it. When I was 28 and said I wanted to buy an expensive house and I didn't want to have to buy a house and do it up. Boom, I did it. But I did it all unconsciously. And then I had a big breakdown and lost everything. And I sat down and started doing everything opposite to what I normally did. I started playing golf left-handed, I started writing left-handed, I started brushing my teeth left-handed. I took a different route to work, I take a different route to the gym. I start openly talking to people and starting conversations with as many strangers as I possibly could to really feel. And I also isolated myself for probably about 6 months, turned my phone off, stuck it in a drawer, just fucked it all off. And it was amazing how I all of a sudden knew who and what I was. I wasn't in tune with somebody else's energy, thinking I was somebody else's energy, or walking around a supermarket with music playing, listening to the words, thinking I was part of that. Because ultimately, when you spend time watching TV, even if it's in the background, the words that are in the background are ultimately a vibration, and that vibration has an effect on the water in your body. Watch the studies by Masaru Emoto. Bing, Masaru Emoto here. He done some tests called the rice test. He also done a test on water where he spoke negatively to it and saw how it created really polluted, tight, withdrawn, crystalline effects. But when you speak positively to it and lovingly to it, it opens it up. Boom. There's been a saying for several years now that we have what is called old DNA that's no good. And this DNA is coming online now because people are starting to realise that fear is just a thought. And if you're just the observer, you don't have to emotionalise that shit. Just take a step back. Take a step back from any fear-based things, let it pass by. Some of you may have seen the tweet by Warren Buffett saying, if you emotionalise things, then you're letting someone control you. Every time you get angry with someone who has a go at you, you're letting them control you. Become the observer, take a step back, let that shit pass. And then when someone says something good, or change it up with a thought in your mind, if you have a negative thought, don't emotionalise it, replace it with a positive thought, put some emotion into it, boom, that's in your energy field, that's what comes back to you. If I said to you, I am having the time of my life at the moment, and I don't mean that in a horrible way for you people that are experiencing negative things, but this is my call and my guidance to you is to change up. If things aren't working right for you at the moment, you can always just change it by reversing it and doing everything backwards to what you normally do, and do that for a week and see how things start to change for you. If your life is as bad as mine was 4 years ago, you'll be willing to try anything. I didn't get out of bed for 4 days. I ticked £5,000 worth of drugs off of people. I sat there and smashed myself into oblivion to the point where I knew there was such a low point that there was no way I was ever going back to that. And the way I look at that now is that was me pulling my arrow back. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go so fucking far forward. I'm going to go so far back. I'm going to pull myself into the darkness. And the further I went into my darkness, the further I understood who I really was. Because polarity is a beautiful thing. We've been taught that duality is what we live in, that we are separate from everything, that you need to find a lover, you need to find a partner, you need to find a mate. Bullshit. Everything you need is within inside you. You're perfectly whole as you are right now. You have a masculine and feminine energy within you right now. Learn to love both sides of them. And when you do that, people start popping up. You'll find relationships that match you. You'll find friends, environments, circumstances, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever you're into, they will start coming to you in drones once you have healed yourself and once you have fully realised that you was whole the whole time. And that by giving away your power to things that are making you believe that duality, dual means two, dual also means to oppose, that duality is polarity, opposing. And it just shows you that hot and cold are two ends of the same seesaw. And that when you realise this, you're the middle point. And when you realise you're the middle point, you can choose where you place your energy. Do I want to be hot? Do I want to be cold today? Do I want to be sad? Do I want to be happy? Do I want to be dark? Do I want to be light? Do I want to be straight? Do I want to mess around and play around with the opposite sex? Whatever you choose is your decision. You have free will to choose what you want to do. There's no judgments from anyone. They should never, when somebody's judging you, they're judging themselves. Understand this. When someone is whole within themselves, they understand that your journey is different from theirs, that you have 8 slices of cake, and that if you've accessed all 8 slices of cake, it doesn't take anything away from anyone else's cake. Everybody has their own cake. Too many people have been looking at people thinking, oh, they've got all the cake, that's taking cake away from me. No, mate, you're giving your attention to their cake. You've got your own cake sitting here, you're just not giving your attention to it. Take your energy back from their cake, put it in your own cake, fill your own cake, become whole within yourself, be you till full. Beautiful. When you're yourself till full, energy comes pissing out of you and you don't even need to do anything. Your energy just helps people, it raises the vibration of the planet. Shamans will tell you that if you have a bucket and it's got loads of holes in it, when you fill that bucket with water, that water pisses out everywhere. This is how your energy is if you're constantly watching the news, if you're constantly reading the newspaper, if you're constantly listening to negative things. Your energy is going on all these things and then it's being reflected into your reality. Now, I really cleaned up my life about 2 years ago and I cut out all crime drama TV, all horror TV, all negative TV. And guess what happened? All of that was not reflected into my reality anymore. It just crumbled, disappeared. My life became a fairy tale of great things, of joyful things, love, unconditional love, gratitude. And for some people, you'll be watching this thinking, this guy is still smoking too much crack. I challenge you to try what I'm talking about. And until you've tried what I'm talking about, please don't comment, because you won't be seeing how this works. You'll be stuck in that energy field of on a repeating cycle of just doing the same thing over and over and over again. But if you do decide to step out of your box and challenge yourself and try these new things, you will open yourself up to a whole new world. So if you're interested in joining me on this 7-day fast, then please do like, comment below. If anybody you know would benefit from watching this video, please do pass it on. Share, subscribe, like. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and my email address is mindbodysoulspiritcoach@gmail.com. I'm well aware this video has gone on for 27 minutes, but this is an introduction for me trying to open you up to new possibilities. And if I can give you 7 days guided fasting for free that will ultimately break down the biggest self-belief limiting barrier that you have in your life, you will be questioning every belief system that you have, and therefore it will open up so many other avenues for you. And if you choose to take this journey with me, then I promise you that everything I tell you I've already been through myself, experienced it, created it, grounded it and anchored it into earth. So the vibration's already there for you to jump on. All you have to do is emotionalize it, believe it and step into it. And I'm here to help you do that. So I look forward to hearing any of you replying back to me. There's already between 20 to 25 of us jumping on next week. I'd love to get that up to as many as possible. There's no charge. All I ask is that you are honest with how you feel when you're going through this process, and that at the end of it you possibly share on your social media the experience that you've gone through, whether it be negative or positive. I am all about integrity and truth, so I'd like you to stick to your guns, and if you do generally have a bad time with it, then I want you to post that. But I'm pretty sure with my guidance you will have a pretty amazing time, and you will come out of this realizing that you're fucking Superman or Superwoman. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. Please do share this again. Lots of love. Namaste.